Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Chris Horner. This is stage 5 of the Tour de France, brought to you by Ketone Aid. For 15% off your next big order of Ketone Aids, if you want to save 15%, use the code BUTTERFLY. Now let's get into today's Tour de France Stage 5. At 177 kilometers, about 110 miles in length, this is going to be the second stage that the sprinters get a chance at winning here at the Tour de France. If I take you back to stage 3, there was a big old crash with about 2.3 kilometers ago. That held up Alpecin de Koenig, Jasper Philipsen, he was the green jersey from last year, and it held up Mark Cavendish along with Wout van Aert. Now, Mark Cavendish is trying to win 35 stages here on stage 5 of the Tour de France. He's trying to beat Eddie Merckx's record. We got something else happening here on today's stage 5 too, because Biniam Girmay, who won that stage 3, well, he's got a shot at winning the green jersey or taking the lead in the green jersey and wearing it for tomorrow's stage 6. But he's got a little bit of a dilemma because he has Mads Pedersen that's just a few points behind him. When the stage starts proper, nothing's happening. Little playing around up there from UAE Team Emirates Ayuso, and he gets a little bit of a talking from his director sportif saying, hey, don't play around this early into the stage. We don't want it to be hard all day. We're trying to get a rest day out here for our teammate and race leader wearing the jersey, the yellow jersey, Tadej Pogačar. So after that, everything calms down, goes curb to curb, it's going pretty slow. We get into about 165 kilometers to go. Then we see two riders going up the road. Those two riders, Verscher, and that's Russo up there from FDJ. Verscher, he's riding for Total Energy. They get about a 3-4 minute gap. It gets up there and plays around a little bit, but there's no threat in the peloton. As we see back there, Alpecin de Koenig and Lidl Trek are pulling. Now we get into about 105 kilometers to go, and we're going to see Alpecin de Koenig at the back of the peloton here. He goes up over the speed bump. That's Robbie Geese. In the long speed bump here, probably a pedestrian one, I'm taking a guess because it's pretty long. So he did the first bump, comes over the top, and there's some kind of hole in the middle at the top there. Robbie Geese's hand slips off. As it slips off, he exits the speed bump, so now he's got another bump. Once he does, he almost crashes, and that's right in front of his teammate, the road world champion, Mathieu van der Poel. His foot's all out, left foot sliding out on the side there, but he saves it. Remarkably, he saves it. Now, why is this important? Well, Robbie Geese is also one of the main lead-out guys for Jasper Philipsen. He's going to be one of the guys that's just in front of Mathieu van der Poel at the end of today's race. So this little crash here almost altered the finish for Jasper Philipsen if he wants a shot here, a better shot at winning today's stage 5. In the interview with Jasper Philipsen, he said, well, you got to be able to predict things. You got to be able to see things in the sprint. You got to be kind of perfect. You got to be able to predict. And if you could predict everything, you'd be a rich man. I love that. You have to be able to predict. Keep that in mind when we get in the finish here of stage 5. Now, as the peloton's rolling down the road, everything's all nice, calm, and easy. We're about 60 kilometers to go, and all of a sudden the peloton splits, and we see Tadej Pogačar's left sliding his bike going into the middle of the island with that post in the center there. Somehow his front wheel's going straight at the island, and he manages to pull it out, lets go of the brakes, comes back into the peloton on the right side, and then there's a crash from Bahrain Victorious just behind him. That's Pale Bilbao. That'll go down, and Fred Wright. If we look at this crash really closely, we know it's not Tadej Pogačar's fault at all. Okay, that's kind of what it looks like. That started with Tadej Pogačar, but of course it's the island, it's the riders in front of him moving, and you can't see anything when you're in the peloton. So if you don't have much warning, Tadej Pogačar's only choice to avoid crashing and crashing everyone behind him was to move all the way to the right. But at the same time, when he's moving to the right, it was starting over there from the right side of the road too, where they were moving over to the left as the island was coming up. So everyone's in the right side of the road there's moving over to the left. As Tadej Pogačar's moving right, he bumps, and then the Bahrain Victorious riders actually bump each other, and they go down and crash too. Now, Tadej Pogačar just got out of there by the skin of his teeth as he continues upright, but Bahrain Victorious, Pale Bilbao's got to get up, and Fred Wright. They'll chase back, and they'll get in the peloton. Now, again, it's pretty calm until we start getting into the next sprint with just under 55 kilometers to go. Mads Pedersen wins the sprint. This is important because Biniam Girmay didn't get second, and I think he's third or fourth if I remember correctly, excuse me, but I'll put the picture up there for you. As Mads Pedersen comes across, why is this important? Well, Biniam Girmay, he was ahead of Mads Pedersen in the green points jersey, sitting second on GC right now, but now they're even. So keep that in mind because now they're tied on time. Now, as we get a little bit further, we're going into about 50 kilometers to go. The rain's starting to hit. Everything's getting a little crazy now, and it's getting nervous at the front of the peloton. We see some of the GC teams getting up there as the rain's dropping in. It's getting crazy nervous. Now we start going under 35 kilometers to go. the two original breakaway riders are going to get wrapped up. We go into 30 kilometers to go. Now we see that Astana's on the right side of the road. That's Mark Cavendish sitting fifth, sixth wheel there on his team. He's doing a fantastic job with his whole team on the front. This is the way I'd play it if I was Astana. I'd keep Mark Cavendish at the front for as long as I can early and keep him rested so he's not back there having to deal with stopping and starting, because you know most likely he doesn't have the teammates to do a full lead out from 1.5 kilometers all the way at the front of the peloton. So if you can keep him at the front for as long as possible right now, we're 30 kilometers to go, keep him at the front, keep him out of trouble, let him know during this whole 30 kilometers that Mark Cavendish, we are 100% behind you. Because if I take you back to earlier interviews from Mark Cavendish, he'll tell you that nowadays you just don't want my body type. It doesn't work. Well, that's not true. I remember in 2012, Mark Cavendish won a ton of stages, rode the front, went over mountain passes, and he's given interviews already throughout this season where he says, well, he's a diesel engine, he needs to warm up. He's given other interviews where he said the heat's affected him, that's why he's dropping on stage 1 and stage 2, and he doesn't always have the most amount of positive energy, I think. So when you put your team on the front like this for Astana, I think this will reaffirm to Mark Cavendish that, hey, we're 100% behind you. That's why we're on the front. They're dropping down the descent when we see a crash at the back from Uno X. We see that's Alexander Kristoff there, their sprinter, that goes down in the crash. He'll get up. He'll start finding his way to the back of the peloton. But before that, there's another crash coming with about 25 kilometers to go, as we see Christophe Laporte just in front of him, his teammate, and the road is going into a right turn, but there's an island. His teammate overlaps wheels as his teammate's trying to avoid the island. He goes left. Christophe Laporte overlaps wheels. He crashes. He gets up immediately. I mean, immediately. He gets up and he's at the back of the peloton. And then we see Alexander Kristoff arrive at the back of the peloton right afterwards. Now we're coming into 15 kilometers to go. I want to show you on the right side of your picture, left side of the peloton, as there's a fan there wearing all black stepped out in the front of the road there on the side trying to get a picture right now. And we'll see the Visma bike have to duck. We'll see the Lotto rider have to duck. And then the road world champion right now, that's Matthew Van Der Poel, is almost getting taken out by the Spectator too. Then you see the Spectator jump off the side of the road. That's a knucklehead move right there in my book, and that's the first knucklehead here on today's Stage 5. Now as the peloton's rolling down, we're getting under 10 kilometers to go. Astana's still on the right side of the road, controlling the front of the group here for Mark Cavendish. We look over on the left side of the road, it's the GC teams, that's UAE team members and Visma bike. As they get into 9 kilometers to go, check out Tom Squinch right there from Lidl Trek coming up the right side as he's bumping the last wheel sweeper there for Mark Cavendish. He doesn't want Tom Squinch getting by at all, and they're bumping hard, and it'll be Tom Squinch that loses this battle as Astana stays at the front. Not for too much longer because we're getting into about 8 kilometers to go. Now Astana loses the front, and it's GC teams all over the front going full gas. Visma bike, UAE team Emirates. Bora Hansgrohe were up at the front if I back up the film a little bit, but right now, Visma bike and UAE team Emirates, they're doing a fabulous job at the front. We're coming under 7 kilometers to go. They're still battling at the front. We get into about 5. Christophe Laporte's at the front. Guys, he just crashed at 25 kilometers to go. Now he's at the front, and he's drilling it, trying to keep Jonas Vingegaard in good position. We come into 3.5 kilometers to go. Lotto's all over the front with 4 or 5 riders on the front, and we see Astana is still near the front. Cavendish has still got his teammates wrapped around him at times and moments deep into this stage in 5, so he's looking pretty good. And Astana, like I said, from 30 all the way into 10 kilometers to go, kept Cavendish in fine position. Now things are getting dicey up here with under 3.5 kilometers to go. 2.5, Lotto starting to lose some numbers, but don't worry, my man Victor Campenaerts coming to save the day as he gets to the front. I love Victor Campenaerts. He looks over at his teammates there. He's trying to help out because they got Arnold De Lee, who's wearing the Belgium Championship jersey right now. He just got done winning national championships for the Tour de France. And my man Victor Campenaerts up there like, guys, it's all calm. You're starting to run out of guys, but don't worry, Victor Campenaerts is here. I'm Chris Horner's man, so he hops on the front, starts pulling. They're going all the way in from 2.5 kilometers, and they've been on the front since 3.5. Now we're starting to get into 1.8, and Albacine de Koenig's coming to the front. As 1.8 kilometers starts, though, they're not going to be on the front for very long because it's time for Jonas Abrahamsen. He's wearing the green jersey right now, and remember, I told you guys it's a sprint right here on today's Stage 5 to decide the green jersey, but I left out Jonas Abrahamsen wearing the green jersey, and now he's going, forget the butterfly effect, I'm going full gas trying to keep this. With 1K to go, We look, Jonas Abrahamsen, he's going full gas on the 1K banner. DSM's up there. Albacine de Koenig's up there. Mark Cavendish and some teammates, Astana teammates, are near the front of the group. Biniam Girmai's up there. Mads Pedersen and Benny are a little bit back, but they still got a chance here on stage 5. And Jonas Abrahamsen's going full gas all the way into about 800 meters to go. Now he blows. It's time for DSM to get on the front. That's Niels Eckhoff, and that is John Degenkolb right there. But where's Fabio Jakobsen, their sprinter here for today's stage 5? Well, he's a little bit in the back there around Biniam Girmay and Mads Pedersen. So he's still got a shot, but he's going to need a little bit of chaos. With DSM on the front, we're getting into about 650 meters to go. Now Cavendish has got a dilemma. He wants the wheel there of Jasper Philipsen. When you look at Jasper Philipsen, though, that's Phil Bauerhaus from Bahrain Victorious. That's got the wheel. So we see Cavendish come over. He gives a bump there to Phil Bauerhaus. That wasn't successful. So he comes back a little bit to the left, center there of the peloton. And as he looks right over his shoulder, as he's looking at Phil Bauerhaus, he comes in again. This time he comes in hard. And Phil Bauerhaus tangles up with Cavendish and with Gaviria from Movistar on the right side. So Phil Bauerhaus has to do everything he can to keep the bike upright. He saves the crash, but loses the stage 5 chances here. But Cavendish is sitting now on Jasper Philipsen's wheel. Now, if I'm Jasper Philipsen and I'm Mark Cavendish and we're coming just under 650 meters to go right now, and I'm looking in front of me and it's Mathieu van der Poel sitting in front of Jasper Philipsen, I'm thinking, wow, this is amazing. I got a shot at winning if I'm Jasper Philipsen or if I'm Mark Cavendish right now. But guess what? There's some company there for Mark Cavendish as Fernando Gaviria just got that done bumping there with Phil Bauerhaus, comes around and bumps with Mark Cavendish. Cavendish wins that battle again and he stays on Jasper Philipsen's wheel. Now what's happening up front is we're coming in to just under 550 meters to go. DSM's starting to blow. Niels Eckhoff, as he's starting to blow, we see the elbows going out from Albacine de Koenig there, Robbie Geese. Robbie Geese was supposed to hit the afterburners at this point in time because we're at just about 550 meters to go, but his elbow's coming out. That means that Mathieu van der Poel has to go. If I'm sitting on the Chesterfield, we're at 500 meters to go, I'm thinking Mathieu van der Poel, he's going to kick it right now. Jasper Philipsen's going to win today's stage, or Mark Cavendish has a chance at winning 35 here on stage 5 of the Tour de France. Instead, we see that Mathieu van der Poel starts to accelerate, but he doesn't have the big kick. So John Degenkolb comes around DSM. He was sitting second. Now his teammate started to blow, Niels Eckhoff. So John Degenkolb's coming around about 500 meters to go. 450 meters comes up quickly, and we'll see Mathieu van der Poel give a little touch there to the right hip of John Degenkolb. This is just telling him that, hey man, don't come all the way over. The gentleman that John Degenkolb is, he moves a little bit over to the left. That leaves an open lane right now at 450 meters to go for Mathieu van der Poel to kick it and go and win today's stage for Albacine de Koenig with Jasper Philipsen on his wheel. Instead, to my disbelief, Mathieu van der Poel doesn't have the legs to go. As he blows, John Degenkolb's starting to blow. Then we're starting seeing Mark Cavendish. He's got a dilemma right now. He thought he was sitting pretty. He was sitting on Jasper Philipsen's wheel, sitting on Mathieu van der Poel, but now Mathieu van der Poel's blowing. So Mark Cavendish is moving over into the center, going left, going, well, I guess that plan didn't work out as good as I thought, so now I got to go left. He starts to go left. He's bumping over there with Brian Cocard from Cofidis with just a little elbow tap. Not really hard, but he's bumping. As we look up front, Dan McClay is taking the front, and we see Gibbons from Lidl Trek at the front, the South African national champion. They're wearing the jersey. They got a little bit of a drag race. Dan McClay, let's back the film up. Why is he at the front right now? Back it up just a hair. As we go back, we see Dan McClay had Arnaud Demar, stage winner of the Tour de France, in the past here. He's got him on his wheel as he was moving to the front, though. He lost Arnaud Demar's wheel. Now he's on the front. Gibbons is next to him, sitting just off to his left. Looks like a drag race. Then Dan McClay backs off. When Dan McClay backs off, he starts drifting back. As he's drifting back, Mark Cavendish, who just already got done dealing with Brian Cocard, and if I back it up, got done dealing with Phil Bauerhaus, but now as he's coming around, we'll see Stuyvesant getting dropped. We'll see Arkea Samsic dropping down the left side, Dan McClay. Well, right now, we know Mark Cavendish understands how to race his bike, right? As Jasper Philipsen's coming up, Mark Cavendish can see Jasper Philipsen and Dan McClay, which means he's going to get pinched off if Mark Cavendish can come over the top. He comes over the top, and just in front of Mark Cavendish, well, that's Oliver Naesen. And we're coming under 300 meters to go. As they're entering the right, and then they're going to start to come out, well, look, Oliver Naesen's on the front, but Mark Cavendish won the battle. If I take you back to the overhead shot, it's a little more clear, as Mark Cavendish sat there and bumped with Jasper Philipsen, who was getting some traffic right there from Arkea Samsic's Dan McClay, so he had to drop out. Now Mark Cavendish is in fine position, second wheel, right behind Oliver Nason, coming out of the last right turn here with less than 200 meters to go. And Mark Cavendish looks left over his shoulder. He kicks it into the pedals, starts going flying all the way from the right side fencing to the left. As he's flying to the left, look who's following. That's Jasper Philipsen that's following right behind him, but they're both going all the way to the left. Now, Mark Cavendish gets almost to the left there, but look, we got 10 guys who all changed their direction from going what should have been a straight sprint to the finish. Now they're all pointing to the left because Mark Cavendish is going left. As he's going left, there's going to cause some chaos because Jasper Philipsen's going left too. Now let's look all the way back and back to film up just a hair. There's Mads Pedersen from Lidl Trek. He's all the way on the left. I'll give you a front view now as everybody, all 10 riders started turning left when it's straight to the finish, but Mark Cavendish wanted to go left. So as he's going left and all 9 riders are going left with him, look at the hand there, the left hand of Mads Pedersen. Normally they're sprinting, they're nowhere near their brakes like this. They're sprinting on the drops like this, but Mads Pedersen can see the damage that's going to happen to him right now if he doesn't get his hands on the brakes. So you see his hand release the drops and start to go up to the brake lever. That's his left hand there releasing. He's getting on the brakes hard. Let me show you the aerial picture as he's getting on the brakes. You know he is because his legs are going wide with his knees coming out. That means he's hitting the brakes hard as everybody's pushing him to the fencing. Up front, Mark Cavendish is sprinting up the left. Jasper Philipsen sprinting right behind Mark Cavendish, and Mads Pedersen's going down hard on the fencing. He'll go down hard. Then you see the Cavendishs rider have to do a bunny hop over Mads Pedersen there. Up front, Cavendish is going full gas in, and he'll sit up with just a couple meters to go to win his 35th stage victory here at the Tour de France and break Eddie Merckx's record. Just behind him, Jasper Philipsen. Third, to round out the podium, that's Alexander Kristoff. Remember I told you the story coming down the descent on the 30 kilometers ago? Alexander Kristoff crashed coming down the descent. Robbie Geese almost crashed, was doing the lead out here at the very finish with only 500 meters to go. And Laporte, who did crash, was doing the lead out all the way into 5 kilometers to go. That's how much everybody disappearing, coming and disappearing affects the race. But right now, we got to talk about Mark Cavendish, his 35th stage victory. Is it really 35 here on today's stage 5? Can you really give the Max Missile today's stage win here after moving all the way from the right to the left side? Well, if I take you back to stage 3, Mads Pedersen, when he was passing Stuyvens, his lead out man, he passed him on the left side, then went all the way to the right. Yes, he held up before going to the fencing there so he didn't crash Biniam Girmay, who came up the right side and won that stage 3, but he still changed his lanes. I can take you back to race after race after race in terms of the sprinters, and they move all the time. Cavendish, when he's looking left over his shoulder, the main reason why he's moving from the right side, even though he has a straight line with nobody in front of him to go all the way to the finish and try to win today's stage 5, the reason why he's going left, first off, it could be slowing down the riders that are coming up the left side, like Mads Pedersen, Arnaud Delis, who's over there, Sam Bennett's over there. So he can slow all those guys down. But most importantly, he knows Jasper Philipsen's on his wheel, right? He had already taken off Jasper Philipsen from that second place there of Oliver Nason's wheel, taken him off the wheel, so he knows he's on his wheel like this. This is right here. This is Jasper Philipsen. This is Mark Cavendish. Once he goes, he's got the fastest sprinter in the world on his wheel. If he looks over left and it's clean and he knows the officials aren't going to DQ him, he's going left because that's going to cause chaos in the peloton. And most importantly, it's going to get Jasper Philipsen off of Mark Cavendish's wheel, which means now he's just got to lose a little bit of distance going over to the left and then full gas, and he's got to hold off everybody that's put under chaos, who all 10 of their bikes started turning left, so they're all holding each other up. Mark Cavendish wins today's stage 5, I believe 100%, if I go off of what I've watched. You go off by the rules, everybody needs to be DQ'd, but you'd have to DQ everybody going back to decades of time, and since the rule was first in place, you definitely have to DQ everyone since then. So Mark Cavendish, in my rule, he gets today's stage 35 stage victory, kind of powered by Ketone 8 because Ketone 8 sponsors the whole Astana team. Now, Mark Cavendish's 35th victory after he crossed the line. Hugs, kisses from everyone. The peloton, his family, smooches from his wife, up on the podium celebrating with his family. But we had one more epic moment here, and I do not want him to be forgotten because that's Biniam Girmay. Baniam Girmay for Eritrean will put on the green points jersey here. First black man to wear the green jersey here at the Tour de France. Remarkable stage here, stage 5 of the Tour de France. Mark Cavendish, the 35th victory. The Eritrean Baniam Girmay, the green jersey at the end of the race here. Remarkable stage. Hope you guys appreciated my take on the butterfly effect. Like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next edition real soon.